Ever had one of those moments where a memory just hits you out of nowhere and you cringe so hard you want to melt into the floor? Maybe it's something you said 5 years ago. Maybe it's the way you waved goodbye, or that one time you laughed too loudly at the wrong moment. No one else remembers it, but your brain does. In high definition, on loop. Why? Why does your mind suddenly decide to serve you a hot dish of shame right before bed? Or in the middle of a good day? And more importantly, why does it feel so personal, so heavy, like proof that there's something wrong with you? Let's break that down. Shame is not just embarrassment, it's deeper, more internal. While guilt says, I did something wrong, shame whispers, I am something wrong. It doesn't focus on the action, it attacks your identity. That's why it feels like a punch to the gut. It makes you want to hide, shrink, disappear, or become someone else entirely. And unfortunately, it's something the brain is wired to do. From an evolutionary standpoint, shame was actually useful. A few thousand years ago, being kicked out of the group meant a much higher chance of, well, being eaten by a tiger. So our brains developed alarms to keep us in line, to warn us when our behavior might lead to rejection. Even now, that alarm system is still firing. But instead of actual danger, it goes off when you say something awkward in a group chat or get too excited in a meeting. Your brain still thinks your survival depends on being accepted. And so, it floods you with shame, just to be safe. But over time, something happens. Those occasional alarms become a familiar background hum. And for a lot of us, shame stops being a reaction and becomes a habit. You wake up with it. You carry it around. It becomes your lens. You don't even notice it anymore. You just assume you're not good enough, not doing enough, or not being enough. One of the most powerful ways this shows up, the inner critic. You know the voice, the one that interrupts your peace with things like, that was dumb, you always mess up, or no one actually likes you. Sometimes it sounds like a strict parent or a disappointed teacher. Other times it sounds just like you. But it's not actually you. It's an echo of early experiences, societal pressure, or moments where you felt unsafe for just being yourself. Shame is sticky like that. It grabs onto whatever it can and repeats it until you believe it. And when you believe it, you start acting like it's true. You apologize too much. You second guess every decision. You downplay your achievements, sabotage your own ideas, and constantly compare yourself to others. Even compliments feel suspicious. You can't take in the good stuff because the shame filter blocks it before it lands. Here's the trick. Shame doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. In fact, the most dangerous kind of shame is quiet. It hides under, I'm just being realistic, or I don't want to seem arrogant. It blends into perfectionism, people pleasing, or overworking. You don't see it, but you feel it. In your body, in your hesitations, in the way you hold back from fully showing up. And the weirdest part, most of the time, there's no actual danger anymore. No one's judging, no one's laughing. You're safe now, but your brain hasn't gotten the memo. So, what do you do with that? You don't need to fight your shame, but you can start listening to it differently. Shame thrives in silence. It feeds on secrecy, on isolation. The more you try to bury it, the louder it gets underneath. But something strange happens when you say it out loud, even just to yourself. The spell breaks a little. You realize you're not the only one. You're not a monster. You're just human. I remember once, after a presentation that went okay but not perfect, I spiraled for days. Every pause, every missed word, replayed over and over. In my head, people weren't just mildly unimpressed, they were disgusted. I finally blurted all of it out to a friend, expecting them to cringe with me, but they just blinked and said, You're seriously beating yourself up over that? I thought you were really confident up there. The shame didn't vanish completely, but something shifted. I could breathe again. The thing is, shame rarely comes from what actually happened. It comes from what we think it means. And a lot of that is borrowed from parents, from school, from culture. Somewhere along the way, someone taught us what was acceptable, what was too much, or not enough. And now, even when no one's watching, we keep ourselves in check. We reject ourselves before anyone else can. Social media makes it worse. There's a highlight reel playing 24/7, and it's easy to forget that behind every polished selfie is a real person with doubts and fears. So we compare our messy insides to someone else's curated outside. And of course, we come up short. Shame loves that game. It always wins. But here's what it doesn't want you to know: it's lying, not entirely, just enough to make you question your worth. Shame tells you that you have to be flawless to belong, that you have to hide the awkward, weird, too loud, too sensitive parts of you. But research, and probably your own experience, says the opposite. People connect to realness, vulnerability, the cracks, not the polish. One of the best tools I've ever come across is self compassion. It sounds soft, almost cheesy, but it's powerful. According to psychologist Kristen Neff, self compassion isn't about letting yourself off the hook. It's about treating yourself like a human being. That means noticing your pain, acknowledging it, and offering the same kindness you'd give to a friend. Not fixing it, just being with it. Try this next time shame creeps in. Name it. Ah, this is shame. Say it like you're spotting a raccoon in the backyard. Then ask, what is it trying to protect me from? Often the answer is rejection, judgment, or loneliness, and that's okay. You're allowed to want connection. You're allowed to care, but you don't have to earn it by being perfect. The goal isn't to eliminate shame. That's impossible, and probably unhealthy. The goal is to notice it, get curious about it, and slowly loosen its grip, because shame will visit, but it doesn't have to move in. And if you've made it this far, maybe that part of you that always feels like too much or not enough just needed someone to say, you're actually okay. You're not broken. You're not failing at being a person. You're just learning to be one. If that resonates with you, or if you've got your own version of the shame spiral, leave a comment. Tell me what you've noticed. Let's make this a little less lonely. And hey, if you like this kind of gentle, weird, psychological soul sifting, hit subscribe. It's like a soft hug from a stickman in your feed.